Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager 2020, Women's Tour episode 23. New season ready to get underway, and a few new things that we have. First off, new jersey for this season. Also, I've taken some of our new riders and some of our returning riders from last season, real riders who didn't have images, and I've added a handful of images in of those riders. So Floor van der Peet actually appears as Floor van der Peet now. Also, it was mentioned that my Sebai, who I'm not pronouncing correctly because I don't speak Danish, sorry. Is it Danish? Is that the name of the language? I'm not entirely sure. I know there's a lot of German influence, and I did take 2 years of German in high school and 2 years of German, or year and a half of German in college. That doesn't make me fluent, though. And sorry, my only recent Danish culture that I've gotten is watching The Rain on Netflix. Okay, that being said, we have moved her from Swedish heritage to Danish. Do tell me how to pronounce that properly, because I don't know how those special A's work in Denmark. So you just have to help me out with that one and suffer with me for now as I mispronounce her name for the time being. All right. Big news is Van der Peet, massive level up, 3.6 potential, but she has got to be close to that either 5 or 6 range to be seeing this amount of growth. Of course, just 19. So if she was starting at a base level with that 68 or so, to be a 75 now is just getting through all those early levels where you level up very quickly, and it's going to start to slow down, but she is still relatively far from that potential to be making those type of gains, to go from a 72 to a now 75 just from October till now. So mountain rating is a 74. Time trial and prologue also quite good. And the resistance, already a 74. For a 19-year-old is incredible. Recovery also at 78. She has very much grown into a stage racer, even if her rider type is still listed, still labeled as a climber. It's quite clear, it's quite evident where her specialties lie. So Donadin is still our second best, so it's not like we had a major change from last season to this season. But let's take a look for a moment, and you can see as we break it down. So Van der Peet, Donadin still at the top, but new rider Jade Tallis, the high potential, just coming in 19. Okay, Baradeur, yes, but punchy, can do some time trialing, certainly has high potential, so she can be reshaped away from Baradeur into something very useful to the team. But already coming in as our third best rider. Sebai also coming in. Bravic coming in. All right to that third, fourth, fifth slot within the team. Then we have Mamalenti, who was the previous third best. Other new face, Del Sarto, coming in. And that's the majority of the new riders going straight to the top of the roster. And a lot of the riders that are gone were down in this bottom 63 and below. And the replacement down there, Manenti, a 5.8. We've drastically improved the potential. And then we also took out the floor and replaced it with riders who were close to our ceiling a season ago. And then our ceiling from a season ago, specifically in Van der Peet, has progressed significantly from where we left off last season. So I'm very excited for where this season could be heading, as we went from 2 quality riders with a couple okay support riders to all of a sudden we have about 4 quality riders. And then we still have that support, and that support's gotten even stronger. But of course, some of those riders we're bringing in are of that Baradeur variety, and it's going to take a while to kind of reshape them into something useful for the team. 3 of our 5 biggest objectives this season all come after that 31st of July, where we have our signing period for next season. So only 2 of those major objectives are actually going to count. The DNK and the Tour of the Gila that happen at the same time. The DNK is a big classic we're screwed for that one, as we still lack any quality classic riders. Nobody with cobble ratings. And top 3 for Tour of Gila is going to be a pretty big ask. Vanderpeet's looking pretty good as a stage racer, though. So maybe we can pull that off. Podium, tough call on whether we can manage to get a podium or not, but I certainly like our chances of having a good race compared to last season, and especially compared to the season before. Budget, currently, we were able to bring it up a little bit to 95,000. Now, a minor success like last season would result in plus 12 or plus 25 for a super success. And we can certainly use that money. We didn't use much of it heading into this season. Team size has grown a bit, and we're now hitting that kind of happy zone. And then we've got a lot of riders that had lower potential, lower quality, that we can start to kind of shake off and remove, from the squad. In terms of no contract, well, Vanderpeet and Donadin, both expiring this season. But the good news is they're already on the team. We're going to have to spend some points to get them to 100% if they aren't there. But re-signing them should certainly be possible. The 5,500, well, okay, no. Vanderpeet's going to have a huge pay raise. But we have some money to burn. So that is okay. We should be able to get those two back. Should. At 75, we'll see if she has interest in coming back. It's possible she'll be way down at 0 interest based on our overall team profile. Clevenger, Brookshire expiring, Klaus expiring. We might retain 1 to 2 of those, depending on the potential and how they're useful to the team. Shear, we brought back to help support the team, but you can now see she's very much at the bottom of the list. So we could definitely say goodbye to Shear. Looking at that team salary, kind of top to bottom, Tullis, Sebai, Bravic make it a little bit more than the rest, but nothing crazy, nothing expensive. We have plenty of money for the upcoming season. So hopefully going from 1 star to 2.5 stars is going to raise that profile enough that we're able to sign some better riders in the coming season. Either way, we should be far more competitive this season, especially as we took the top spot in the Continental rankings. I think we should be quite good at that Continental level race, and then a lot more competitive in the Continental Pro races than a season ago. With that season preview done, I'm going to go ahead and get on that planner, get our schedule drawn out, and then we will get to the races. A lot of low-level objectives, 1 star or less, 2 stars or less for all but those 2 races that you can see based on the category. Tour of the Gila is going to be the hard one that we're going to have to watch out for and really focus on, but a lot of easier races to do. Top 10s, top 5s, only a couple stage wins along the way. Last season we were happy to get a few done and just claw our way into having a successful season. This year, looking at the objectives and looking at the difficulty there within, I think we're going to have an easier time getting those results, and maybe we can push for super success, but I think we should definitely be able to replicate a successful season. In the squad, Vanderpeet does have some popularity now, so we are getting somewhere on that. Of course, we still have all of those American riders, though none of them are known, and that would be really nice to get somewhere with that. Signing Jastrab certainly would have been nice. And I didn't realize until I was in the editing process, looking back on the video, that she hadn't actually flat out said no to us. She was just getting really expensive for a rider who just doesn't deserve that kind of money. I probably could have signed a 1-year deal, really expensive, and had our rider, and then dealt with it a year later on whether we could improve that contract and whether it was worth it to retain her or not. But And I thought I had already hit that point where she had said no. We had one chance left. It happens. And either way, that was a lot of money that she was asking for, and certainly not much better than what we have in terms of quality now. Let's go ahead and get forward to the racing. I'm looking forward to this season. We open the season not with an objective, but just a race to get the legs stretched and going. It's the 967 challenge. And this is the last climb before the final climb. And we're actually seeing a little... Sure, Seibai is caught behind somebody.
Those guys up front aren't going to be making too many friends today.
Peloton's already shrunk at about half. We do have a small group off the front here now, actually for the second time. Or third time in this race. We're chasing a small group who has just reeled in all but the final rider of the breakaway. There was originally a massive break, almost 20 riders, with just 17k to go. This chase isn't necessarily going to be easy. Seibai back to protecting Donovan, if you would, please. So I'm down to 3 left in the peloton. There's 58 of us in this chase group behind those 13, but they're out to a minute and a half. And if we have any chance of catching them, I'm unfortunately going to have to sacrifice somebody. So Donovan is both our best pure climber, but also our punchiest. Mamalenti is fairly punchy, but actually it's Seibai who is a bit better climber, and I think we're going to need that. No. You know what? We don't. We're going to use that at the base to help Donovan, and then Seibai is going to lead us out because she's got a significantly better flat rating, and we need that right now here in these last 11 kilometers if we have any chance of catching that group of 13 who got just a little advantage over that uphill swing. This is what broke the field up multiple times and what ultimately got us down to a group of about 65, and then those few riders were able to pull a little bit of a gap, and so far we've only pulled back a very small amount of time as we approach that finishing climb. So I'm not liking our chances of catching those 13. $2.1k. Mamalenti. Get us on the move. It's our new jerseys, by the way. Pink top with a blue and green, and we are going to catch some of them. Mamalenti doing a nice ride here. It's going to be hard for Donovan to finish too strongly, though, with still 800 meters left to go. There we go. Now Donovan. Baum has taken the win from the break. We're going to certainly be past some of them. We're actually winning from the peloton group here as Donovan pushes past Milwaukee here, which was the final rider. But of those 13 that got away, it looks like 7 of them stay out front. So we catch half that group, take 8th overall. Unfortunately, we missed that little break. And more unfortunate that nobody in our group was able to chase that down for us, forcing me to sacrifice. And I did well with that. I mean, I ultimately won my group, and the chase allowed us to catch half of those riders at the front, but that's only 8th place. So not a great result, but fortunately completely irrelevant, unimportant, doesn't matter. This race was not an objective. It would have been nice to, season with a victory or something, but our intent shows, as we did at least beat our group of 60 or so riders to the top of the climb first. In the category for 5-8 potential, only a single rider was eligible for close monitoring. That is Anastasia Kalafat of Russia, 19-year-old puncher, 69 hill rating, good sprint acceleration already, so fairly good as a rider. Obviously could be better, but for us, a 67 with very high potential is probably a pretty good fit and easier to sign than others, and most likely for minimum or close to minimum. So I think that's kind of a natural first signing for next season, and then we'll go from there as we find others. First rider to level up in the new season is Momalenti, now a 69 overall with a 69 mountain and 73 hill rating. She is training as a puncher. 67 acceleration to go with it. Still not good by any means, but that 73 hill rating is starting to get fairly tolerable in the continental races anyway. That could get a result. We have our first sponsor objective of the year in this 3-stage Vuelta International. Just a punchy stage, really not that bad on the climbing. 122 kilometers to go, so we're already falling into that window to get water for the first time. And I certainly brought a stronger team so that we could try to get off on the right foot and please the sponsor. So Donadin's here, Vanderpeet's here, Sebai, Momalenti, our top punchers and climbers are all at this race as 3 stages fit the similar punchy profile. Sheer on a -4 today, Miucci on a -4 today. Not great results on that. That is partially weather related, but Donadin does have a +2, Vanderpeet does have a +3, and that absolutely bodes well for our chances of getting some sort of result today. Breakaway is 7 off the front. They've got a decent little bit of a lead here, 3 minutes with 75k to go. Pace is also starting to pick up, so that gap should be coming down. This is more kind of rolling, undulating hills than it is anything very steep or challenging. All those KOM points aren't going to bother too many riders. Okay, as we get into the final 60k, this is a good opportunity to get water that final time. Let's go ahead and bring it on down as we focus Sheer. Used up her red bar. Hopefully she can complete the job so we don't have to send another rider back before she's out of energy, and she does. Good. She's also, though, going to fade quite soon. Let's go ahead and use her gel. And she's fading before the gel kicks in. 38k to go. Front group is thinning out and getting closer. It's just a minute and a half to the last 4 riders. Only 1 rider out of the back of the peloton, so the pace isn't too bad, but you can definitely see that Sheer, kind of every time we come out of a corner, she loses a little more ground. So we're down to 5. But again, that breakaway, they're down to a minute, so they're not going to be much of a threat. This Cat 3 coming up, it's going to do a little damage. Actually, that's pretty steep. Steeper than the finishing climb for sure. And that's going to have a bigger impact, so we need to prepare for that.
They're moving along at a fair lick.
Push up to an 88, 89. Should help us maintain our position. Hopefully we don't miss out on some sort of minor attack on that one. 20k to go. Actually, you know what? Let's not take chances of last race repeating itself. Let's get Donadin, the punchy one, and Vanderpeet, the climby one, to lead her out. Say by the other climby one. Momalenti, Miucci, and Sheer is way too far down right now. So Miucci, we're gonna work our way towards the front. And then we want to try to control this climb. Be the aggressor. And we turn onto it. It's only 2.2k. Miucci is not a good climber. Miucci's a terrible climber. Momalenti is far more punchy. Let's go ahead and
some team managers mustn't appreciate
get
the
her
fact that there is a
controlling
breakaway,
this thing
given that
now.
the pack has increased its speed.
It's okay if we use up a bit of red bar. The red bar
pack
can
is back
and
on
will
level
recover.
terms with the
Momalenti
breakaway
now
group.
to the front.
The riders are going through a very tough portion with percentages above 10%. Only 15 kilometers left.
All right. There's still definitely a lot of riders in contention, but we are going to see splits, and we do. There we go. Now just 60 left over the top. Mama Lenti is going to gel up, and then attack the descent. Savai needs to gel up. It's 12K, a bit of it downhill. Not a lot's uphill. If we could see separations like this and suddenly get it down to 22 riders, 21 riders, we get a chance. And meanwhile, because of our nice front position, our other 3 riders are going to have a chance to do something. Now, we don't want to go 99 from here, but Mama Lenti was good work. Miyuchi did not do much for us, but as soon as Mama Lenti took over, she did a really good job destroying most of the field. You can see how strung out it is. Savai keeping us in control. Now 7K to go. Go ahead and gel up for Vanderpeet. Savai covering half of the kilometers we had left on a gentle uphill at a 92 is pretty dang good. Now it's 4.9K. Alright, 99 now. $4K to go. Okay, here we go. Vanderpeet keeps us in control. 2.7K. We split it down to 30 riders. Okay, 99. Vanderpeet leading out Donadin. Donadin can't quite handle the Vanderpeet push here. Donadin, this might be a little early.
Who's gonna be the first of the line today?
Yeah, it is a little early. She didn't quite have enough to go.
Really powerful sprint finish.
Sophie Wright takes the win. We were certainly close. That's what you want out of your team. You want to be in that position. And we were in that position. Vanderpeet had plenty left. Donadin had plenty left. Savai, fantastic ride from Savai, I really think. And Mama Lenti. I mean, they covered a lot of kilometers uphill at the front, keeping the field strung out. And then Vanderpeet and Donadin had plenty of energy left for that final push. Donadin, without going into sprint or anything, and riding at a 97 for... Oh, sorry, Vanderpeet riding at a 97 for a good bit of that. Yeah, it's going to do a little damage to Donadin following, especially the strength that Vanderpeet has in those legs. But you would have thought Donadin could have handled that a little better, right? Otherwise, everybody else, Wright, Fallon, Lynette, Alessio, all of them, you know, they should have felt it as well. We broke off 11th place on back. They couldn't go with it. But Donadin didn't have much left for that final push, for that final 600 meters. And it showed because she only went about 300 meters before she ran out of energy.
Now for the race highlights.
And then ultimately fell back, and we ended up in 9th and 10th at the back of the small group. Still a good ride, but also shows that we still have a little ways to go. Time gaps given on those front 2. Everybody behind us losing time, so suddenly the top 10 are at an advantage over the rest of the field for the overall. The objective on this one, by the way, is to get a stage win. And for a team like us, that's definitely easier said than done. We did get a few wins last season, and I'm sure we will get maybe 5 wins this season. It'll happen. There will be some results, but it's always easier said than done when you're still a bit off. Pure climbs, though, Vanderpeet, especially if it's a continental, Vanderpeet can win some pure climbs this season with her improved climbing and some support riders who also have some improved climbing. So we will get some results this season. Not as terrified of them as I was a year ago, and certainly not believing it's completely hopeless like it was 2 seasons ago. Yet we did get, I think, 1 win that first season. either way, we're improving, and I'm growing in confidence with this group. But getting a stage win in this race won't be easy. We did everything right on setting that up, and still came up a few hundred meters short. Otherwise, we were right there in contention for it. Close, not close enough. 2 stages to go. That is going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. We'll finish those 2 stages up. We'll be moving into March, where we're going to be looking for a top 5 on that classic race. Chambéry after that. So we've got a light part of the calendar in these early stages into March. You can see we've got 5 objectives in March, so things will pick up then. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.